my balloon popped. I only had the one, and it popped. So moving on, without that brilliant demonstration, tube feet. I will post a video that shows the way that they move. Unfortunately, it will not be Mr. Cruz with a balloon doing it. So let's talk about the water vascular system of an echinoderm, a sea star, or a sea cucumber. So these are, it sounds complicated, water vascular system, but it's really not. Basically, it's how they drink. They take in fluid through these little tubes in their legs that are actually in their tube feet. So they'll take up water and it'll go into these ampullae. Right, this is the diagram that I'm looking at right here. This one. It'll go into their ampullae, from there to a radial canal, into a ring canal, to a stone canal, to a madreporite. Essentially, all you really need to know is that they use this vascular system to filter the water and get rid of impurities. This helps keep their salt content regulated in their body. They also use it to digest small bits of food. So it's sort of a way of filter feeding. They are dioecious. That's another important thing to know. They lay eggs and they fertilize them externally. So if you've ever seen like Finding Nemo, how all the eggs are outside of Nemo's mom, Marlin has to come in and fertilize those externally. She lays her eggs and then he does his business. Well, sea stars do it the same way. The sea stars lay their eggs and then go about their business. And the crazy thing about sea stars is that they can lay an absurd amount of eggs. Let me go look it up real quick. I'll cut that into the video. Okay, yeah, I looked it up. 200 million eggs in one season. That is insane, right? Yeah, so that's a good bit. As you can see with the sea star right here, she's nowhere near done laying her eggs. So, along with that is their reproduction, how they drink, how they move around, how they digest. Let's talk real quick about development. So, remember how I said that echinoderms that we were skipping ahead, that they were a more advanced invertebrate, that we were skipping past arthropods for a minute? Well, the reason that they're more advanced is because on a developmental level, they actually have an embryonic form similar to a vertebrate. They are deuterostomes. A deuterostome, and this is very important, a deuterostome is something that, while developing, develops its butt before its mouth. I know that sounds super weird that we would even make a specification for that. Why do we care about that? Well, because your digestive system is what develops first. So when you're just a little ball of cells and you become a tube of cells, which one of the openings of that tube, your mouth or your anus, determines sort of how advanced you're going to end up being. Let's take a deeper look at this. So if we look here, focus up here, we have this 8-stage cell. This is when you have only divided into 8 cells. And it undergoes this process eventually as the cells continue to divide, called gastrulation. And it's the formation of your gastrointestinal tract. Like I said, it's the first thing to develop. So you start as just a little tube of cells. And if you are a protostome, which is everything that we've talked about up until this point, your mouth will develop first. And then as this cleavage continues to take place, eventually it'll reach the other side, and your anus will form. But a deuterostome forms its anus first and then its mouth. So your butt forms first and then your mouth. What makes echinoderms so interesting is that they're the only invertebrate that does this. Every other animal that does this is a vertebrate. They all have a spinal cord, except for the echinoderms. They're the deuterostomes of the invertebrate kingdom. Pretty interesting stuff. So, finally, with that, let's review.